News, your all news channel. We are like GTV and on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Chintaka. You're welcome. The UK government has provided funding to promote a positive social and behavioral change towards the mentally ill and persons living with disability. These categories of persons are often stigmatized and discriminated against, especially in accessing healthcare. Through the Ghana Jumedie program, the Hope for Future Generation is expected to collaborate with Site Forum to remove all barriers hindering mental health and social inclusion through sensitization in the Greater Accra, Central, Northeast and Savannah regions. Sarah Ofori reports.
Mentally ill are often abandoned by family members, discriminated upon in marriages and in relationships, mocked by society, abused, denied leadership roles, and limited in participating in decision-making, among others.
In our community, there's kind of begging. When you go there, even if you didn't ask for alms, they will give you. There are countless occasions when you decline and say, aren't you blind? Aren't you supposed to be a beggar? You know, this kind of thoughts and this kind of words kill your self-motivation.
These notwithstanding, the Ghana Somubi Jumedie program focuses on promoting policies and systems that respect the rights of persons with disability and those with mental health conditions. Through its activities, the program seeks to, among others, reduce stigma and discrimination meted out against such persons and scaling up equitable access to health care. The grants advisor of the Ghana Somubi Jumedie program, Mr. Lawrence Akobori, said about 12,000 lives have been impacted since 2020.
To make sure that stigma and discrimination is reduced in Ghana, and a supportive environment is established for persons with disabilities, including persons with mental health conditions, a strong partnership is needed. A partnership between the government of Ghana, non-governmental organizations, and civil society organizations at large.
The UK aid through Ghana Somubi Jumedie in 2021 has awarded a 1.6 million grant to remove these barriers in 18 districts in the Greater Accra, Central, Northeast and Savannah regions. The sensitization project will be implemented by a consortium made up of Hope for Future Generation and Psych Forum. The stakeholder meeting held in Accra called for more investment in mental health and ensure disability inclusion in the country.
We need to push so that Ghana become disability friendly towards persons who are in the society, because it's their rights. I mean, it's just like any of us, we can't continue stigmatizing them.
Traditional and religious leaders, families and caregivers of persons with disability and mental health conditions, state institutions, health facilities, and the media, among others, will be targeted in the social and behavioral change campaign. 04 GBC News, Accra.
A two-day seminar to build capacity of Queen mothers in Greater Accra to help them use the peace model to effectively mediate and resolve conflict is underway in Accra. The training is funded by Ashase University.
Audits conducted on some traditional areas of Ghana show the prevalence of disputes among the people, and this development, experts say, impedes socio-economic development. Individual conflicts, group conflicts and communal conflicts are often land-related. In resolving such conflicts, Queen mothers are said to have a very important role. This, many believe, justifies the significance and centrality of women in mediating conflict due to their good human relations. Though Queen mothers have become a catalyst in social conflict resolution, they are still challenged in competence and logistics. The facilitator of the program, Madam Enyonam Kudolu, said it is important to build the respective capacities and be well resourced to enable the Queen mothers effectively use the alternative dispute resolution ADR mechanism to resolve traditional conflicts in their various jurisdictions.
At the end of the day, when they have the knowledge and the skills and the ability to practice, they'll definitely get there. So we don't really need any extra resources. It could even earn them some small income because they could charge the disputants according to the ADR Act.
The belief is that women are good at gathering the women folk to support development projects initiated in their communities. The organizer of the Greater Accra Queen Mothers Association, Na Adole Ablade I, says her counterpart will use this means to find lasting solutions to issues in their communities.
We go to the courts and we draw cases that we can settle. And then we'll explain to our community members when they have problems like chieftaincy matters, marriage problems, and a few others. We can sit on it and then mediate for a successful ending.
Over 40 Queen Mothers in Greater Accra are participating in the seminar. Fisherfolk at the Tema Canoe London Beach at the Tema Fishing Harbour are optimistic of a bumper harvest this year when the close season ends. The fishermen say this year's close season has been strictly adhered to across all coastal communities, and also the weather has been good, which are pointers to a good catch. The Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development and the Fisheries Commission on July 1st set in motion the 1-month 2021 close season for artisanal and inshore fleets to restock depleted marine fish stocks. The ban, which was hitherto opposed by some fisherfolk, has turned out to be yielding some positive results in the sector. In a few days, the sea will be open once again to fishing activities, and most fisherfolk have lauded the ministry's commitment to observe this year's close season despite the 2020 outbreak of the coronavirus. They say this year's weather pattern has been favorable, and when the sea opens, they are hopeful of a good fish harvest.
We've taken advantage of the close season to mend our nets and dry out the canoes.
The fishermen, however, are concerned about the continuous use of unauthorized methods in fishing by the industrial trawlers and the discharge of effluents by some institutions into the sea. They complain that these unlawful activities also deplete fish stock. They are therefore asking the Ministry of Fisheries and other stakeholders to step up monitoring and surveillance mechanisms to regulate fishing activities.
We are
not happy that the tuna vessels were given 3 to 4 months, but the canoes were given 1 month, and the China vessels were given 2 months.
2 months. In fact, what you have been going on
the activities of the trawlers affected our catch, so that should be looked at for us.
The fishermen have lauded government's plan to automate pre-mixed fuel supply in the industry. They believe this will address agitations of irregularities, insufficiencies and hoarding by non-fishers. The Ministry for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development and the Fisheries Commission will on Saturday, 31st July, end the close season for artisanal and inshore fleets, while the sea opens to industrial fleets on the 31st of August 2021. A book titled The Last Bath, a pictorial presentation of the inhumane treatment meted out to victims of the transatlantic slave trade, was launched in Accra with a call on government and stakeholders in education to include books on African history in the country's curriculum. The founding president of the Pan-African Museum, Mr. Kojo Yanka, made the call, adding that African history will give pupils and students the opportunity to acquire a broader understanding of their roots.
50 kilometers north of Cape Coast is Ochin River in Asen Mansell. In this river, then a stream, slaves transported from the northern part of Ghana were made to take their last bath before they proceeded to the Cape Coast and Elmina castles for shipment to Europe. the zeal and interest of Mr. Jeffrey and Shakira Edison to visit such slave trade centers encouraged them to document their experiences into a book, The Last Bath. The 40-page book uses words, pictures and symbols to tell the historical reality and symbolism of the last bath and the story of slavery from the African perspective, depicting the emotions and knowledge that goes with the narrative. The authors, Mr. and Mrs. Edson, said their visits to the slave dungeons made them imagine the experiences of their ancestors during the slave trade days as though they were there too.
The drawings, the paintings, put our response or reaction or how we felt about it, and that is captured in the book. We then also had the opportunity to travel north, not all the way north, but we were able to go to Tamale and Sagala and Sapuli, some of the slave markets, or the markets where our African people were captured and enslaved, or captured and traded, I should say, and brought down. And so we documented that. And then also it captured some of the photos of our experiences at during Panifest and Emancipation at the Durbar and Asimanso. And so it is important for us to tell the story.
Mr. Ivo Ajimanji launched the book.
The Last Bath is a history of what happened that was unfortunate, but history is also permanent. And in the sense that it is, this book adds up to what has already been written, the slave narratives of the 1800s and before then, and what the future also make of what happened in the centuries before then.
The founding president of the Pan-African Museum, Mr. Kojayanga, and other guests who graced the occasion suggested that books that relate to the history of Africa and its people are made available in schools as well as to the larger public for them to be acquainted with their history.
Between the 19th and the 26th of July 2021, the Ashanti region recorded 783 new COVID-19 cases, with the Delta and Alpha variant being dominant among the cases. At a media briefing in Kumasi, the Ashanti Regional Director of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Emmanuel Tinkrine, said 85 junior and senior high schools in the region have recorded 365 COVID-19 positive cases. Of their number, 254 students have recovered, while 111 are undergoing treatment.
Touching on the presence of the Delta variant in the region, Dr. Tinkrang said currently the Ashanti region has been recording an average of 120 new COVID-19 positive cases daily, with the Greater Kumasi area being the epicenter of the disease. He said since March 2020, when Ghana recorded the first COVID-19 case, 595 health workers in the region have tested positive for the disease. Dr. Tinkrang said the sudden rise in active cases of the disease in the Ashanti region is as a result of complete disregard for the COVID-19 safety protocols, especially the wearing of nose mask. He cautioned the public against practices that trigger the spread of the disease.
We will have to intensify education and then encourage the school authorities, especially the management of the schools, to make sure that as far as the children are concerned in the schools, they should ensure that they adhere to the protocols. Wearing of face masks is a must in all the schools, whether you are a teacher or a student.
Dr. Tinkrang cautioned public health facilities in the region to refrain from charging for COVID-19 testing.
We've reported Delta variant in the region, though Alpha is there, but the reason why we are concerned about the Delta variant is that this is a highly transmissible variant and it's a new variant. Even those of us who are vaccinated, we have to make sure that we adhere to the protocols. Other than that, This variant will cause a lot of problems. And then, as I've stated, we also have a low vaccination coverage.
The Ghana Health Service GHS has received 10,000 boxes of a COVID-19 antigen testing system. The system can analyze up to 20 COVID tests at a time and return specimen results in 15 minutes. With the country's increasing infection rates, the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumar Buaje, said the machines from Nelex and SD Biosensor of South Korea will facilitate deployment of testing systems to schools and communities across the country.
It's a computerized analyzer that uses the latest technology, the cutting-edge system that within 50 minutes returns the results of all specimen taken. So we symbolically hand over to DG as the support from Niles Corp Company Limited to the Ghana Service in the fight against the pandemic.
Earlier on they gave us PPE, so they have been a very good friend to the service and to me, the people of Ghana. This will go a long way and has come at the right time too, because it's the time that we are experiencing a surge and the time that we need to do some mass testing in terms of outbreaks. Now we do what we call strategic testing depending on the situation. This will help us in doing such things quickly so that we can improve our response time and able to isolate people early enough before they can spread.
You're welcome back. You're watching News Hour live on GBC News and GTV and Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. The three-member committee mandated to probe the Ejura killings on Tuesday afternoon presented its reports to the Minister for the Interior. My colleague Hajia Rama Mahmood is back from the Interior Ministry and gives us some details about this. Good afternoon, Hajia.
Good afternoon, Miss Lynn.
What transpired?
Actually, the chairman for the committee, Justice George Kingsley Kumsin, presented the report this afternoon. And I would say that my expectations weren't met because I thought I was just going to have a first-hand report of what the whole report entails. But then it wasn't so. They presented it to the Minister for Interior, and he commended them for a good job then, although he's not read it, but he says he's going to analyze it, read it, and then analyze it, and then forward it to the President. So at the appropriate time, the public would get to know whatever.
Did they give timelines, dates?
No, they did not. They did not. They did not. But then he says the report would be made public at the appropriate time. He also commended the public for showing patriotism because they gave out information willingly without anybody forcing them to do that. So, well, we're still waiting to see when they're going to make this report available.
I'm sure you are waiting to see to you at home. We are all waiting. Thank you so much, Rama, for passing through. Moving on in other stories. A clarion call has been made by the Ministry for Education, Dr. Yao Oseiduchum, to all tertiary institutions in the country, especially the University of Ghana, to be globally competitive by instituting appropriate mechanisms and strategic goals to produce graduates who will meet the needs of industry both home and abroad. Dr. Yao Oseiduchum made these remarks when he met members of the new governing council of the University of Ghana. Oforiwa Daku reports.
In a globalized world, knowledge, research and innovation are becoming increasingly important resources, and these developments are influencing the role of universities. Although academic excellence for centuries had been the commission of higher education in Ghana, in recent years there had been calls for radical change to also meet societal expectations, cooperation for societal solidarity and global connectedness.
We need to become more aware of our global competitiveness
not only should we be happy that we are the premier university in Ghana, the walls of higher education is now open to the entire globe. Students will decide to come to Legon or to go to Brunel in UK. And now that you have institutions that are literally looking at how they can make the education for free.
At an inauguration ceremony of a 20-member newly governing council of the University of Ghana, the Minister for Education, Dr. Yawosei Duchum, charged the council to channel resources into enhancing the structures of the school to make it globally viable. He further added that the council should invest in quality research works to help solve teething problems in the country and the global space.
Begin to look at your global competitiveness and begin to look at globalization and its impact on your institution 20 years from now. You may not be a council member at the time, but what you do today is what will define the legacy of the university that you are going to be a council member of. Consequently, this is something that the council should take interest in, globalization and its impact on University of Ghana's future.
The council is chaired by former Chief Justice Sophia Ekufu. This follows the expiration of the old council on May 31, 2021. The Sophia Ekufu-led council comes barely a week to the end of the tenure of the current Vice-Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Ebenezer Ojo Owusu. For GBC News, Ofeyiwa Daako.
As part of its drive to prepare pupils of the future, Rotary Club of Accra Airport City has organized a career guidance and counseling forum for pupils of the Unity Junior High School at Kotobabi in Accra. This forms part of Rotary Club's commitment to the basic education and literacy campaign.
It is a fact that many pupils in schools grow without knowing clearly what they want to become in future. Most rely on motivation from others as well as access to the possibilities that exist to identify what they see as their full potentials, and in most cases this creates a bleak and regrettable future for them. This was what prompted members of the Rotary Club of Accra Airport City to organize a career guidance and counseling forum for the Form 3 pupils of the Unity Junior High School at Kotobabi in Accra. The career and guidance initiative centered on the importance of education and its purpose, how to identify and pursue a given career and life after junior high school. The resource persons, who were from the Ayawaso North Municipal Directorate of Education, took the students through the various areas of education and how it's shaping the world. The club also donated some educational materials as they prepare for the BEC exams and COVID-19 protective gear to the pupils. The president of the Rotary Club Accra Airport City, Mrs. Bertha Gatti, stressed the need to periodically organize such fora to align the career of pupils with their potentials. The career guidance and counseling is a joint effort of the Ayawaso North Municipal Education Directorate, SINA Consult, and Oyster Integrated Foundation.
The Accra Police Command has impounded 394 motorbikes in an operation to clamp down on activities usually committed by suspected criminals using motorbikes. The 5-day operation, which started on the 22nd of July, is still underway. It forms part of efforts by the police to maintain security in the capital.
This operation is to help clean up the system, reclaim stolen motorbikes, and compel recalcitrant riders to update their documentation in line with the Road traffic regulations. The exercise to impound motorbikes began for various offences such as the use of unregistered motorbikes, riding without helmets, use of motorbikes without license or insurance. This was a directive from the Regional Commander DCOP Afol Boache Adom to all divisional commanders to embark on the operation. The Medina Division impounded 30 motorbikes, Abokobi Ayi Mensa 11, Peshin 15, Accra Central 25, Oyibi Frafraha 15, and Mamobi 34. Dansuman recorded 51 seizures, East Legon 23, Kaneshi 74, Kutubabi 21, Ajen Kotoku 15, Pokwasi 33, and Nima 47. The suspects are being screened by the various divisions for necessary actions.
The Ghana Red Cross Society, with funding from the Swiss Red Cross, is carrying out a number of projects in the Upper East region. The Director of International Cooperation of the Swiss Red Cross, Dr. Thomas Gutner, has inspected some of these projects. He gave a thumbs up to work done so far, pledging continued support to people living in rural communities.
With funding from the Swiss Red Cross, the Ghana Red Cross Society has constructed over 500 two-bedroom unit houses for flood victims across the Busa North and the Katsina Nankana municipalities of the Upper East region. Some of the communities that were affected in the floods are Mayoro, Natunia, Chuchuliga, Siniesi, and Bilinza. Under the Ghana Red Cross Watch Project, the construction of 21 boreholes in 6 selected districts of the Upper East region are all at various stages. Over 20 disaster-prone communities in the region have also received disaster risk reduction tools to help mitigate the incidence of disasters under the Ghana Red Cross Society's Disaster Risk Reduction Project. The Director of International Cooperation of the Swiss Red Cross, Dr. Thomas Gutner, was in the Upper East region to inspect these projects. The Red Cross Society is also supporting the government's efforts at reducing maternal mortality in the region. With the Red Cross Society mother clubs dotted across the region, the women are educated on how to stay healthy before, during and after pregnancy. At the Mayoro Chips compound in the Katsina Nankana municipality, the midwife in charge of the facility, Madame Matilda Songese, was grateful to the Ghana Red Cross Society for its assistance to the health center, especially with the provision of tricycles for use by the health workers.
Our labor ward is very small. After delivery or in the process of delivery, a second party cannot come there to assist. It's only one person, and in delivering a woman, sometimes there's a need for somebody to come to assist. So we think if they can also help us extend that, our labor ward will have also be more grateful.
The Secretary General of the Ghana Red Cross Society, Mr. Kofi Ado, promised continued support for the government's efforts at alleviating poverty in rural areas.
Interventions that we are bringing on board is holistic. First is the neonatal, maternal and child health, where we use our mothers to accompany our pregnant mothers throughout the 9-month journey, right from the day of pregnancy, coming for antenatal, delivery, postnatal and things. And if you realize that in terms of this journey also, they need a lot of things, especially the facility. So we've made a promise and we have added WASH, that is water and sanitation services.
The Director of International Cooperation of the Swiss Red Cross, Dr. Thomas Gutner, urged the beneficiaries to ensure proper maintenance of the projects.
But I'm really glad to see how Ghana Red Cross engages with the communities around the mother and child health concept, around the mothers clubs, to really improve their lives. And so I'm really very, very happy that we can support this program, which is really a very strong program for the well-being of the community here, which Ghana Red Cross carries out.
You watching this hour live on GBC News, your all news channel, and GTV and Facebook. We'll be back shortly. Please do stay.